reggae music. New Horizon Band. You know that I didn't see what the world can do. It's breaking my heart in two. Because I never wanna see you sad, girl. Don't be a bad girl. But if you wanna leave, take good care. I hope you find a lot of nice friends out there. And just remember there's a lot of bad days. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wide world. It's hard to get by, so for a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wide world. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, beautiful ladies and gentlemen. Yeah.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Listen. Tell me what could you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, said I wanna know. Now there's nothing you can do to stop a man from trying me. Tell me what could you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, said I wanna know. Now there's nothing you can do to stop a man from trying. Not with that big broad smile and that sexy dress you wear. It's totally impossible for a man with eyes not to stare. There is no reason to be so uptight. Now you got everything alright. By now you should know you're every man's fantasy. Yeah, what could you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, said I wanna know. Now there's nothing you can do to stop a man from trying. Tell me what could you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, said I wanna know. Stop a man from trying. Hey girl, check out your style. Brothers going wild. It's hard to control when you're out there on your own. Oh, pretty girl, don't you waste my time. Wave around and give me a smile. After all, I'm one of your feelings. Yeah, what can you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, I wanna know. Now there's nothing you can do to stop a man from trying. Yes. Tell me what can you do to stop a man from trying? I wanna know, I wanna know. Stop a man from trying.
Hi, good night. Yes, I'm going to.
Yeah. Beautiful ladies.
Well, I'm a hustler and a player, and you know I'm not to steer. That's a dirty, dirty love. And that's a love it from the start. That's the way I keep my heart. That's a dirty, dirty love. And that's a love it from the start. That's the way I keep my heart. That's a dirty, dirty love.
I'm still in love.
Still in love. What a man's gotta do. Yeah, me never have to promise you no bling bling for all your girl. And I still love you when me fling fling control you, girl. I make your head swirl, I make your body twirl, I make you wanna be my one and only baby girl. Light up the light, me give you love to keep you warm. Girl, you never get this kind of loving from your bond. I know you want to, yeah, but me just can't perform. And so you get your little loving and me God. Ladies, time for the kissing and jam. Sing it. I told getting it a lot by stop. Say that, say that, say that. Love. I'm still in love. Well, I'm a hustler and a player. No, I'm not to stay. That's it, that's it, that's it, love. Remember the good times we had before. And I said that till love. I'm still in love with you, girl. And I'm a hustler and a player, and you know I'm not to stay. Till love. I'm still in love with you, girl. And I still love it from the start. That's the way I get my heart. Till love. Best just to make it quick. Women tend to the sick. Cause there must be something she can do. Yes, his heart is broken too. Tell her it's a case of emergency. There's a patient by the name of Misty. She's my night nurse. Only you alone can quench this yesterday, yeah. She's my night nurse. Oh gosh, oh this pain is getting worse. Listen, see I don't wanna see no doubt. Attendance for minors from round the block. Cause there's no prescription for me. No, she's the one, my only remedy. Sing it! She's my night nurse. Only you alone can quench these symptoms. My night nurse. Oh gosh, oh this pain is getting worse. She's like my love. Try your best just to make it quick. Woman woman tend to the sick. Cause this must be something she can do. Yes, this heart is broken in two. I miss I tell her it's a case of emergency. There's a patient by the name of Bakil. She's my night nurse. Only you alone quench this your thirst. She's my night nurse. Oh gosh, oh this pain is getting worse. Said if we never get a chance to be together, so when you're done on your horizon, but we love ya. Said if we never get a chance to be together, lady, I wanna love ya. I woulda liked one of these mornings to wake up and find your face on a pillow lying right next to mine. I woulda cut up the party and the smoking and the rum and boost a picture while we make me see a sun. And every time I fantasize, I see your lips, I see your eyes, and every little thing you do, the wood by hypnotize. To you it's just a thing, another little thing, but to me, behaving at the end of them I think it's a pity. You already have your man, and me don't have me girl in my life. Good girl, it is a pity. I say it is such a pity. You already have your man, and me don't have me girl in my life. Good girl, it is a pity. Oh, oh, oh. Yes, people, you have a good time. We got a well-stocked bar, check the bar. I woulda liked one of these mornings to wake up and find your face on a pillow lying right next to mine. I woulda cut out the party, smoking and the rum, and boost a picture while we make we see the sun. And every time I fantasize, I see your lips, I see your eyes, and every little thing you do, the wood by hypnotize. To you is just a thing, another little thing, but to me it's like the heaven at the end and never sing. It's a pity. You already have your man, and me don't have me girl in my life. Girl, it is a pity. I say it is such a pity. You already have your man, and me don't have me girl in my life. Girl, it is a pity. Oh, oh, oh. Said if we never get this chance to be together, well, you don't know we love ya. Said if we never get this chance to be together, well, you don't know the horizon bound. Love ya.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm nice and lovely. Oh.
nice and lovely, we have your music. Yeah, listen up. Every man got a right to decide his own destiny. And in this judgment, babies, no partiality. So I'm in arms with something. We fight this little struggle, yeah. And that's the only way we can overcome your little trouble. Brother, you're right, you're right, you're right, you're right, yeah. So right. So we gotta fight, 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 yeah. Fighting for our come on, I teach you in a Zimbabwe. Mash it up in a Zimbabwe. I liberate Zimbabwe. Come here, let me liberate. Listen up. No more internal power struggle. We come together. We gonna fight, we gonna fight, we gonna fight, fighting for our singing. Not teacher in a Zimbabwe, mash it up in a Zimbabwe. Mayana liberate. Come here, let me liberate. You're nice and lovely. Where's your music? Listen up. Hear me out. To divide and rule would only tear us apart. In every man chase, the beats are hard. But soon we'll find out who is the real revolutionary. I don't want my people to be contrary. So right. So we gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gotta fight, we gonna fight, fighting for our right. Come again, not teacher in a Zimbabwe, mash it up in a Zimbabwe, and liberate Zimbabwe. Come here and let me liberate Zimbabwe. Lord of mercy. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Yes, we're gonna keep it nice and lovely. Hope you guys enjoy the music. Yeah, we are the New Horizon band, rocking you. Yeah, easy. Yeah, man. Reggae music, can't refuse it. Tall. Invention. Refuse it. Lord.
Hello. Sound good?
light in my eye. I can't see the light. Good evening, everyone. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome each and every one of you to the Village-O-Rama Youth Unplugged event. Tonight, we gather to engage in meaningful conversation, share valuable insights, and empower one another to tackle some of the most pressing challenges facing our youth today. We are delighted to have an incredible lineup of speakers, participants, and guests, all here to contribute to this dynamic and transformative experience. To our distinguished speakers, talented teen contestants, and everyone joining us, we extend a heartfelt thank you for being a part of this special occasion. Now, it's my honor to introduce two individuals who will be guiding us through this evening's program. They are vibrant, insightful, and deeply committed to creating impactful dialogue. First, we have Michaelia Tucker, a charismatic host who with passion for engaging conversations and unwavering dedication and unwavering dedication to youth empowerment. Joining Michaelia is equally talented and energetic Malik Queely, whose ability to connect with audiences and foster meaningful discussions will surely enrich tonight's event. Together, Michaelia and Malik are here to ensure tonight's discussions are not only thought-provoking, but also inspiring and empowering. So, without further ado, please join me in welcoming our hosts for the evening, Michaelia Tucker and Malik Queely.
Good night, all. Thank you, Dejanique Webster, for your welcoming remarks. My name is Malik Queely, and I will be your host for this evening.
And to reintroduce as well, I am Michaelia Tucker, and I am your hostess for tonight.
Thank you. I wonder what's next. What's next on the program?
How will we start off this night? Well, first on the agenda, we'll have the introduction of the Republic Bank National Talented Teen Contestants. Take it away.
Welcome to the beautiful island of St. Kitts and Nevis, where dreams take flight and young ladies shine bright. Our 6 incredible contestants are here, each representing grace, intelligence, and style. They are preparing for a journey like no other. Each of these young ladies are unique, talented, and represents the best of what it means to be a Kittitian teen. dedication to their studies to their vibrant personalities. They are all truly remarkable.
Greetings, revelers. I am your vivacious Luna Wolf Kyla Gerald, representing the Sadler Secondary School in this year's Miss Teen St. Kitts and Nevis pageant. No need for a long introduction, for contestant number 1 is ready to slay the competition.
Indulge in the greatness that stands before you. I'm your lucky ticket, ambassador number 2, representing the birthplace of champions, the Bastia High School, in this year's Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Kitts Nevis pageant. I am the indomitable you, Sharika Francis. I'm inviting you to come on out on the 17th of December at 7 p.m. sharp to witness me and 5 other beautiful young ladies fight for the crown. Remember, there's only one place to be. For Sugar Mass 53.
A proud delegate in this year's Miss Republic Bank Teen St. Kitts and Nevis. I am 16-year-old Jonice Rogers, contestant number 3, representing the home of the Wildcats, the Washington Archibald High School. Come on out on December 17th to witness this future pediatrician and 5 other beautiful young ladies vie for the title of Miss Republic Bank Teen St. Kitts and Nevis. But remember, there's only one place to be for Sugar Mass 53.
A dreamer, achiever, and ambassador of excellence, I am 16-year-old Lajanique Boone, your contestant number 4 in this year's Miss Republic Bank Teen St. Kitts and Nevis pageant. Remember, there's only one place to be for Sugar Mass 53.
There's only one person to see, and that's me. Wait, sorry. There's only one person to see, and that's me, your contestant number 5, the beautiful Deshanaya Miracle Charles, a proud 5th form student at the illustrious Keon High School. I am your contestant to choose. Inviting you to come on out on December 17th to witness me and 5 other beautiful ladies vie for the title of Miss Republic Bank's Teen St. Kitts and Nevis.
Whether it be east or west, VHS is simply the best. I am your hawktastic delegate number 6, Soraya Williams Powell, proudly representing the Virtuals High School. On the 17th of December, at the Republic Bank Miss Teen St. Kitts and Nevis pageant, an overdose of sweetness awaits you. See you there.
Oh Lord, we can see Jablet's reggae music once again. It's so nice.
Dedication to their studies to their vibrant personalities. They are all truly remarkable. beautiful inside and out.
And I'm not going to miss it either.
Yeah, I'm with them girls.
What a beautiful and radiant set of beautiful young ladies. Well, without further ado, to initiate this insightful night, we now invite Honorable Iceline Phillip, Junior Minister in the Ministry of Social Development, Youth Empowerment, Gender Affairs, Aging, and Disability. Yes, it is. Good night, Honorable Minister, and how are you doing tonight?
Good night. I'm good. I'm always happy to have a conversation with some of my favorite young people. How are y'all doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, y'all look good. Y'all look good, man.
You look even better.
Oh, thanks. You know, I try. Sorry, sir.
Well, the first set of questions for tonight will be based around your ministerial role in youth development. So, can you describe your key responsibilities as junior minister in shaping youth development policies?
Sure. So, as a minister of government, key responsibilities, particularly when it comes to youth empowerment, not unlike any other ministries, to provide some support in terms of strategic direction, to provide oversight for the implementation of, youth development strategies, programming, policies. And, a large part of this, of course, is around engaging with the young people to try to understand what your needs are, what your hopes are for the future, to be able to get some ideas from you as well as to what you think we need to do to solve some of our, social problems that everybody experiences. So a large part, I always enjoy having engagements like this with you, because then that's how I am able to be informed, to be able to support the development of strategies and policies and programs for delivery.
Yes, I do love that response. And that really brings out the point where we're really the ones who are more or less kind of responsible for the decision making, because as cliche as it might sound, we are the future. So policy making is extremely crucial among us.
Absolutely. So that's why consultation is always important with the young people, and also encouraging you to take leadership roles and responsibilities. So kudos to you for, being young leaders and, taking the initiative to, have this kind of event here as part of the Village-O-Rama sessions in constituency number 3. So I commend you and all of the organizers for hosting this.
Yes, thank you. And now, what specific initiatives or programs is your ministry currently implementing to support youth empowerment?
It's a really good question. So within the youth department, there's always, some flagship programs that people are used to the Department of Youth Empowerment hosting annually. So you may be familiar with the youth camp, summer camp. That's, one of the main flagship things. This month is actually Youth Month in November, and they would have kicked off the month by showcasing youth creativity and art with the Youth Art Exhibition that actually is organized and coordinated by the Youth Department every year, so that we can support young people into kind of considering and engaging the creative sector, especially since, this government and the administration, under the leadership of Dr. Drew, has actually established a Ministry of Creative Economy to be able to get the arts and, creatives kind of to develop that sector. We also usually have events and activities throughout the year where we bring young people together. So last week, we would have had a youth forum with some students from, different schools. The focus was on mental health this year. Previous years, we've talked about things like violence and crime. We've talked about just kind of what young people would like to see in terms of from the ministers, from the government. And so opportunities to engage like that. And throughout the month, we always try to do some volunteer cleanups. And so we see a number of those activities that happen.
So, yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
I do think that you actually answered this third question that I'm about to ask.
Okay.
And it's basically, how does your ministry collaborate with other government agencies, private organizations, or international bodies to enhance opportunities for young people?
Oh, that's a really good question. So we would have seen the development of the establishment of a national youth policy. So that's something that would have been consulted on a few years ago. Would have been consultations under the past administration, but then also this one, to be able to kind of understand different areas where we need youth leadership, because the idea is to get young people and youth engagement, youth development mainstreamed. So in any area of development, of sustainable development, of national growth, we want a youth voice present. And so we're seeing that collaboration take place, of course, across the government. We would have seen recently the Ministry of Environment held a youth forum, which was about climate change. It was the Climate Youth Forum, because as you know, we are focused on transitioning to a sustainable island state, and that really takes into consideration our threat around climate and climate change and the climate action that we need to take. And if we're talking about sustainable futures, we have to engage young people in that. And so we see the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Sustainable Development taking that initiative to incorporate young people and to think about that. We see it happening in sports, in the way that sports has returned to schools. We see it happen in tourism. I know tourism also hosts a youth congress with young people to try to get ideas as to how we can make tourism more sustainable and more attractive in the future. And so it's absolutely important for us to collaborate because, like I said, youth development should be mainstreamed. It should be a mainstream part of national development plans. And so we're always looking to see how we can ensure, I always try to advocate that there be a young person present in whatever area it is, because it's important for your own development so that we have resiliency for the future.
Right. And I do see that youth development really does create well-rounded, multifaceted youth, because whether it be in academia, athletics, creatives, as we see, it's really important. I do see it in this federation, and what else that we can really put on the table.
I'm looking forward to it as well, because, you're the ones who have the ideas and the innovation. So, we always need to hear from you, I think. It's really important. So I'm glad that you're excited and that you actually see the effort. That says a lot. So we need to continue doing what we're doing. But, of course, if you want to pull us up, this is the opportunity. You let me know. Okay?
Of course.
For sure. Thank you. Thank you, Michaela. On your next discussion.
Yes, Maliki.
Support for youth issues related to mental health, identity, and empowerment.
Okay.
Your first question, Honorable Minister.
You're making me feel like I'm being interrogated. Come. Let's relax this a little bit. Okay?
How is your ministry addressing the growing concern about mental health challenges among young people?
And this is a really good question. So like I would have mentioned, this is something that I would have actually recognized that perhaps is on young people's mind after actually there was an OECS ministers meeting that was held a few months ago, where the OECS, they actually St. Kitts and Nevis hosted the OECS ministers of education, social development, and health at a meeting. And the OECS Commission, they invited some young people in to sit in on that meeting to be part of the conversation. And one of the things that came out from the young people across the region, they did a survey, was that mental health is something that young people are struggling with in whatever way.
100%.
And so, that raised an alarm to me in my mind. And that actually is what gave me the inspiration to direct that we have this youth month focused on mental health and mental health matters when it comes to youth development and the importance of that, especially as we think about wanting to create more safer and secure communities. We think about wanting to create sustainable settlements. We want to think about, building empowered citizens and empowered young people. You need to know how to cope with just life be life in. It's not, mental health challenges are not just unique to young people. All of us experience it.
Yeah.
But I think the history of us as a people, as a federation, is that, even adults, we're not really the best at managing our mental health. But thankfully, stigmas have been removed now. Once upon a time, people used to say, I have mental health problems, I think you're crazy. But that's not really the case. So I think it's important for us to start the conversation and, of course, for the stigma to be removed. I think young people have been a real driving force in us changing the way we think about and look at mental health by, calling us into question to figure out, okay, how can you, as a young person, deal with the stresses that you experience at this point in your lives? You might not have mortgages to pay or children to raise, but, you have the stresses of having to, balance, multiple subjects. Think about a world that is changing. Like, we had COVID. Like, we all thought the world was going to end.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you have to rethink your futures and, what I mean? Like, and, school may not always be the most encouraging or exciting thing. So you're kind of trying to figure out your space and place in life.
Exactly.
And that can be really stressful, especially in the kind of world that we live in today. So I think it's important for us to be able to help you by giving you the information, actually being able for us to create space to have conversations about mental health and, identify healthy coping strategies as well as naming the unhealthy coping strategies that we know y'all young people that's be engaged in. So, very important. I think it's important conversations for us to keep having. And I think the youth department, like I said, this last week, the focus for my Minister's Youth Forum was on mental health. And we had some presentations from the National Counseling Center, from the Drug Council, and I had some engagement as well as some focus on national security. So, very important,
Interesting. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Sure.
The next question. What resources or programs are available for young people struggling with identity issues such as self-esteem, gender identity, or cultural belonging?
This is a good question. You ask what things are available.
Yes.
Well, the truth is, you're supposed to be able to find a space to be able to explore these things and to have these things nurtured within our basic and primary institutions already. You should be able to get a sense of that from your family, through the education systems, from your guidance counselors, HFLE classes, with your teachers, your engagement in extracurricular activities and mentorship. The truth is we have these things in society that we've always known to work and function. But I think what's happened over time is that we've seen a breakdown in some of these things. Especially again, after the pandemic, activities for youth engagement were significantly reduced. And for whatever reason, no, you don't see young people coming out. Look at the audience here today. And it's, we do things, we host things that are very interesting and, try to get to the young people, but no, y'all don't show up. Like, why are y'all not showing up? But, to be honest, yes, we could definitely figure out how we can host more programming, more opportunities, whether that be through clubs, through community organizations, which, would then help to connect you with persons who can help to mentor you, who can help to support you with whatever it is you're going on, that you can build peer support as well. Because that's really how you're going to be able to get it. It's really, it's really true what they say, it takes the village got to raise the child. It's true. And, to get that support that you need, you want to connect with your, family relatives, you want to connect with friends, you want to connect with mentors, you want to connect with each other to encourage each other and support each other positively. So we need more of those things.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned guidance counselors.
Yes.
They have some young persons who are really hurting but afraid to go to our guidance counselors because they don't trust the guidance counselor, or the guidance counselor will tell someone else. How can we work around that?
That's actually that's a good question. That's a good question for thought. So one thing I must say is, so we do have the National Counseling Center, where we have qualified and professional clinical counselors. It's open publicly for everybody, for anyone, everyone. That's the one area where we know we can always use more psychologists. We can always use more qualified psychologists because the demand is high. But what I would say, especially for young people like yourselves, who, late teens going into early adulthood, that is a resource that you can certainly tap into in terms of calling the National Counseling Center. But we definitely could use more, peer counselors in schools, like in the primary schools. This is an area where I think we need to upskill. We do need more support services in that regard. So I will put a plug here for young people who might be considering career options. Don't forget the social sciences. We do need more clinical counselors. Psychology is not a bad space to get into. Just a plug.
Okay. Thank you. Are there any partnerships with OAGS or community organization to provide support service for youth facing mental health or identity struggle?
Organizations, you asked?
Yes, community organizations.
None that come to the top of my mind in terms of that specific. The Mental Health Association is, I know, a community-based non-governmental organization that ought to provide support and just, community services. I can't say that I can think of anything else specifically that targets that. but I believe that there are certainly community groups that seek to do a variety of community work and community service. So I always know the Rotary is very much involved. Sniper is always there. I think that they try to offer diversity of programs to target young people on different areas. Church groups, Antioch Baptist TAG. I think that's a really good program, particularly for boys, to be able to provide some of this support that young people might be looking for. So that's what I would say that comes to the top of my head right now.
Okay. Just one more thing.
Yes.
So what if someone does not fit in that category? Like they have sniper and they feel like,
that's for certain type of people?
Yes. What do you have in place, or what do we have in place for those certain persons? Like a guy John, he might not want to be in sniper because he feel like for bright, intelligent people, or they have this program. What do we have in place for our young people who don't feel
that they fit necessarily into these established?
Yes.
So there's always the youth department. I think the youth department tries to host different things, but I think this is an area where I would be open to suggestions, because, you're asking this question and you make a point, that, some of the things that we have that are known, that are well established, some people may really feel like that's not really the thing.
Yes.
So what do you think that thing could be to be able to capture those who may not find that they fit into what we already have? That's a question that I have, because clearly maybe I'm struggling here to figure out what that thing is. So to me, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, maybe we need to figure out how to create something. So what's the something? For real.
So here's a small suggestion.
Sure.
Maybe we could try to implement a small program where we have these persons of interest kind of participate in more or less, we say, mock procedures before they actually become Skiniperians, as we may say. So this could really help to boost their self-esteem before they actually join into the group.
I see. So what do you mean? So like be able to have like smaller engagements or groupings where people could get a sense of what these types of groups
like
do?
a little workshop or something.
Okay, I think that's a good suggestion. I think, so one of the things that I always appreciate about young people, more so than, more older people, is that I feel like you guys have a courageousness to be able to say, I think this is something that we could do. Once you find a support person who's willing to kind of help you, you will just get up and do it. And I know Malik very well for like doing that kind of thing. Just, come with an idea and I'm like, oh, that's cool. And I see next week, okay, oh, he's actually doing it. And so I think, that's really good, especially for young people like you who have leaders and you've been in a lot of different spaces. You've been exposed to a lot of different things. And I think, this is definitely an opportunity to just reach to those people because you know who they are, to be able to say, let's have this workshop. And you know how to connect to the right people to be able to give you support for that and encourage it.
Okay, thank you. We'll definitely
think about
something.
That.
Definitely.
Yes. And you know where to find me.
No problem.
And now, before we end off this section, we will now take a small break before we proceed with the rest of tonight's proceedings.
Oh, that's it for me.
Welcome to the beautiful island of St. Kitts and Nevis, where dreams take flight and young ladies shine bright. Our 6 incredible contestants are here, each representing grace, intelligence, and style. They are preparing for a journey like no other. Each of these young ladies are unique, talented, and represents the best of what it means to be a Kittitian teen. dedication to their studies to their vibrant personalities. They are all truly remarkable. Inside and out. They are preparing for a show like no other. Excited for one of these young ladies to take the stage and the crown. Get ready to witness brilliance, beauty, and talent on the grandest stage. The future is bright, and these young ladies are ready to shine.
And now, as we continue tonight, we will end off with questions to you about your advice to young people navigating challenges. So firstly, what advice would you give to young people who feel overwhelmed by societal pressures or mental health struggles?
Okay. What advice would I give to young people who feel overwhelmed by life challenges and mental health pressures? Okay. I think, life becomes overwhelming generally for a lot of us, all of us. I think, I know a strategy that I use. Sometimes you kind of need to just take a pause and realize, you just have to kind of really take things a day at a time. For me, sometimes I think things feel overwhelming when you start to think about all of the things that are really not within your control. So sometimes I think we can start to overthink and think, about tomorrow and then the next day and then when you do this thing, then it's going to turn into this thing and then it's going to turn into that thing. And it's just the way that the mind tends to work. So sometimes I think we just need to grow a little bit more self-awareness. That's why they say you take your pause, do some breathing exercises, and what's in your control right now. So if you're concerned that you're going to fail on a test, and then you're thinking, oh, if I fail on this test, I'm going to fail this subject, and I fail this subject, and fail school, and then my life is going to be over. Like, just don't go down to that rabbit hole. If you're concerned that you're going to fail a test, take a deep breath and, assess yourself. Then what actions have you actually taken? What have you actually done? Have you been studying? If you realize you haven't been, what can you change about your study habits to make sure that you are actually prepared for this test? If you realize that, you haven't been as effective at something, what actions can you take? What can you change about your daily life, about the things that you do? Bring it back to yourself and the level of self-awareness that you have, because we can easily become overwhelmed when we start thinking about all the things that we have zero control over. And so sometimes you really just need to take a pause and take a deep breath and come back to the present moment and think about, what do I have control over right now? Name the fear. What is the thing that's giving you the anxiety? And then what can you do to stop it right now, today, just right here in this moment? Because that's all you have. So that would be my advice if you ever feel overwhelmed in a moment.
Yes.
And nothing lasts forever. So, just remember, you're still very young and the world is still very big and infinite. So there's nothing that's going to necessarily crush you.
And also, there
Yes.
also have persons out there willing to help you as well.
Absolutely. And it's always nice to talk to somebody.
Definitely.
So, you can talk to somebody, whether that's a friend, whether that's a parent, somebody that you feel that you can trust, who you think can relate to you. Sometimes journaling helps some people. Sometimes, being creative and just kind of expending that energy onto a piece of paper sometimes helps. So these, are small coping things that I think persons can do, but there are always resources. You can always, reach out to somebody in your church, somebody in your school, and somebody in your family to be able to talk to you and get some advice as well, to remind you it's okay.
Yes, because sometimes we do blow stuff out of proportion and focus on we make it much more bigger than it really is. So thank you for highlighting the fact that we really should be thinking of solutions instead of dwelling on the actual problem.
That's right. Because sometimes we make the problem a lot bigger than it really is.
Exactly. So the second question, what actions can young people take to actively participate in shaping policies and initiatives that affect them?
You can show up. So what can young people do? So I think, you'd see the government really is making an effort to host a number of consultations and initiatives for engagement. What actions you can take to be part of the policy development processes by showing up and making sure you give voice to some of these very big issues, some of these very important things. It can be as simple as just asking a question, because by asking a question, you may force somebody, one of your leaders, one of your ministers, to be thinking about a problem in a way that they never really thought about it, or to think about solutions in a way that they never thought about it, just by asking a question. And so, how can young people be involved? You have to show up. If you're not at the table, you are on the menu. And so, I've always encouraged that, you show up, you make your submissions, you share your thoughts. And, there are ways to do that. There's always ways to do that formally through organizations that are usually typically consulted. But then there are always ways to do that as an individual, whether that's, on the micro level at your school, on student councils, whether that's in your churches, through church leaders, in the community as community ambassadors, by doing what you're doing right now. The way you contribute is by making sure that you show up to contribute to whatever is the topic at the time. Sustainable island states, that's the agenda. What do you think about our sustainability? This country belongs to you. And I think we make the effort to create opportunities, to create engagements, to hear from young people, to get young people's input. The only way that you can contribute is by showing up to those engagements and actually contributing.
Yes, of course. And we can't let you leave without asking what your message is to young people who may feel excluded or unheard in society.
My message to young people who might feel excluded or unheard of in society. I'm sorry that you feel that way. And sometimes, I can totally understand that. I think that's relatable to every person at some point in time in their lives. So you feel that, nobody really cares about what you have to say or about your situation or how you feel. But, I would encourage those persons that, your voice is as big as you allow it to be. So even if starting is by standing up for yourself to a parent to say this is what I want versus this is what I don't want, or if it's standing up to a friend, but learn to use your voice in the spaces that you have it. We are all involved in a space where there's opportunity for us to kind of be a leader in that space, whether that's among our peers who, these men saying, oh, let me just go on the block and cause trouble. You can be a leader in that space to kind of say, okay, no, let's not do that. You don't have to be, it doesn't have to be as big or as grand to be important. We're all important. And, you might say something small to this person and then they'll take that and take it on to somebody else. So I think, for persons who may feel unheard, I think just don't ignore the fact that wherever you are, that is an important space and that you have influence in that space and in that area. Once you learn to use your voice in the smallest space, you get more confidence in using it in bigger spaces, regardless of who you are, how much money you make, whatever class, ability, gender, orientation that you have. So I would just say, just learn to use your voice in the space that you have. And as time goes on, you will realize you get more confident to use it. And hopefully you don't feel so as unheard as you think that you may be.
And dream big.
Pardon?
And continue to dream big.
Of course, and continue to dream big. Of course. So that's always important.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you both very much.
Once again, it's our utmost thanks for having you here to do this interview with us. And I forgot to mention that Honorable Minister was once my mentor. So all of this information, I have already heard it, and it's extremely important.
Yes.
One of the contributors to the person that I am today.
I tell you. And I want to thank you both very much. I do remember the first time I met this young lady. She was so shy. You seem so shy. And so just to see you bloom, and so quickly too, I have no doubts that you're both going to be great in this world. You know, Malik, I see you all the time, always encourage you, always take initiative. And, you know, Michaela, you know, I just think you're so beautiful. So please continue to do what you're doing and, you know, continue to, you know, be leaders and be exemplary in the things that you do, okay? Thank you very much for having me and in the invitation. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'll take the mic.
Are you big enough now to Jala, protect us now. Jala, protect us. Follow me. Rasta vibration, yeah, positive. That's all we got to give. Iron vibration, yeah, positive. Got to get vibes on vibration, yeah, I will ask. Oh, yeah, positive. One more time, listen up. Yeah, positive. Listen. If you get down and you cry every day, you're saying prayers to the devils, I say. Why not help one another other way? Keep much easier. So make it a bit easier. Say you just can't live the negative way. We're living now how to be. Make way for the positive day. Listen. Positive, this is day. New time, and it's a new feeling, and it's a new science. Oh, what I do there? Are you picking up? Are you picking up now? Oh my God. Jala, protect us. Nice and lovely. Jala, protect us. Rasta vibration, yeah, positive. That's why we got to give. I am vibration, yeah, I will. Got to have a good vibe. I am vibration, yeah, I will. Oh, yeah, positive vibration, yeah, positive. Yeah, man, nice family nice and easy. Music. Boss and scat. One more time, one more time. Listen. Yeah. Every man can die besides on destiny. And in this judgment God, you're right, you're right. So right. So we gotta fight, we gotta fight, fight it for right. Come on, in a Zimbabwe, Machito, in a Zimbabwe, Ayana Libabe, Zimbabwe. Come here, we believe Babe. Listen up. No more.
Hello.
Power shot.
Yes.
We come together, overcome only teach us. But soon we'll find out who is the real revolutionary.
And we are back at it again. Our second panel discussion will be centered around identity, sexuality, and gender acceptance. Our guest speaker, Mr. Amani Lewis, will be discussing self-acceptance, understanding LGBTQ issues, and respecting diverse identities. Let's welcome Amani Lewis.
Hi.
How are you,
Hi.
Mr. Lewis? Yes, it's on.
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good, man.
Nice.
Night going good so far. Ready for your first question?
I am.
Okay. What does self-acceptance mean to you? And why is it important for personal growth?
Self-acceptance to me is accepting yourself 100%. Hear it? Self-acceptance for me is accepting yourself 100%, flaws and all. And it's important for personal growth because in order for you to be your best self, you have to accept everything about yourself. Good, bad, indifferent.
Okay.
That is it.
That's it. Oh, that was fast. Okay, short and nice. Okay.
To the point.
Short and cute. Right to the point.
No problem. The second one, how can we show respect and support for people of diverse gender, identities, and sexual orientations?
Create a safe space for everybody. Create a space so everybody could just have an open dialogue that can talk freely without fear of being judged, without fear of being like side-eye. Just my thing is just create a safe space for everybody so they can just speak freely and speak what's on their mind.
Okay, nice. The next one, why is it important to use someone's correct pronouns?
Wow, that's a very good question. I like that question. It's important because sometimes you have been told every day, if you're struggling with your identity or sexuality, you have been told every day by your peers, your family, that you're not good enough. And then when you finally come to self-acceptance and finally say, this is who I am, this is how I feel, and this is how I want to be called, it's a sign of respect. And you got to respect it. You have to respect someone's pronoun, because I am not going to call Ben he if Ben want to be he, they, them. You just respect people. Respect everyone. That's my thing.
That's your thing. Okay, nice. What are some simple ways to educate ourselves about LGBTQ issues and experiences?
To be honest, they have a lot of shows right now that is very informative, and yes, the LGBTQIA community is what people see is glitz and glamour, but at the end of the day, we are humans. We are not a handbag. We are not a purse that you can dump your trauma on, dump everything that you're going through on. At the end of the day, we are humans. And I think you just go read a lot of books. We have a lot of books right now about the LGBTQIA plus community. We have a lot of shows that you can get information from. So my thing is, and just social media. Social media have a lot of information. You can learn a lot about the LGBTQIA plus community, my community, on social media.
On social media.
Just go on social media.
And that's on Instagram?
We go Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Christian Mingle, anything and everything that you go on. You're going to find something about LGBT. You find good information about LGBT community. Good and bad. But don't make the bad outweigh the good, to be honest. Because at the end of the day, we are humans.
Okay, so how did you came about this LGBTQ? How did you came about it?
I don't think it's how. I don't think I came about it. I think we are all. Well, I am born this way. I'm born naked and the rest is drag, to be quite honest with you. I got that from RuPaul. We are born naked and the rest is drag. The rest is drag. At the end of the day, when you go out in the everyday life, you put on your clothes, you put on a facade, you try to present your best self for others. It's just, to be honest, it take a while for me to realize it because I was struggling. I'm a church kid, born and raised in the Methodist Church back home in St. Vincent, but I was Christian and Catholic. So, it was very hard, but, to be honest, since I moved St. Kitts. When I moved St. Kitts 2019, I noticed that Christians are very tolerable. They're somewhat understanding. For me, from an outsider, from a foreigner, they're very understanding. So it was like a better fresh air because I get to literally be myself here. If I feel like to wear a wig one day, I wear a wig. I feel like wear nails one day, I wear nails one day. That is just me.
That's just okay.
So do you agree that the society or the areas in St. Kitts and Nevis are more acceptable or inclusive to people of the LGBTQIA?
Yes. I agree. It going to get the one or two people who feel like they could tell you how they feel or try to kind of project their fears on you. Just don't study them. Don't give them no mind. At the end of the day got to end.
Yes.
At the end of the day got to end.
Okay. So how does understanding and accepting diversity benefits a community?
I mean, if you understand a person, you know how to deal with them. That's just it. If you understand an individual or a community or an entity, you know how to deal with it at the end of the day. If you don't understand nothing, if you don't understand someone, you'll be like, I wonder how I can figure out this person. But if you don't understand like a homework, you'll be like, I don't understand how to do this, boy. You might ask for help. The same as the LGBT community. You might ask somebody, so tell me about the community. Tell me why they're so, why we are so, why we're fighting for equal rights, why we're fighting to be heard, why we're fighting to be seen equally, why we're fighting to be treated as human. Just have to understand people.
Okay. And we have come to the end of your short answer thing. We'd like to thank you.
Thank you very much.
Both hosts would like to thank you for coming out, supporting our young people, Youth Unplugged, and thank you very much.
Thank you. I have a message for every young person out there who is struggling with mental health. Seek help, and it is not bad or shameful if you want help from somebody. Look for a community. Look for somebody you love. Go to sometimes you could just somebody could ask you, "Are you okay?" And then, "Are you okay?" They'll be like, "Yeah, I'm okay." Just seek help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to cry. Remember, it is okay not to be okay at times. Sometimes it's okay or not to be okay. At times in life, you need the downtime to kind of push you and motivate you to be a better self at the end of the day. Because at the end of the day, everybody's trying to be their better self. Nobody's trying to be their worst.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you for that message to our young people. And we'll take a short break again, and we'll go right into our next panel discussion. Thank you.
so much. You're gonna give it nice and lovely, nice and smooth. Where's your music? Oh, yeah.
And we're back. So now, our focal point for this discussion will be on the weight of family expectations and cultural pressures. We'll be exploring the balance between personal aspirations and family and cultural pressures. We'll also be sharing stories and coping strategies. All of this will be done with Ambassador Siobhan Phipps. We now welcome her to the panel.
Hi, guys.
Good night.
Good evening.
And how are you tonight?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
It's always a pleasure.
Nice.
So we'll move on to our first question now. How have family or cultural expectations influenced your personal goals and decisions?
Okay, well, I'll start by saying, it may seem a bit hypocritical for me to be speaking on this topic. Because as an attorney, many people may see it as one of those traditional, generic professions that family and friends tend to guide persons into. But I have a lot of friends in the orange economy, in the blue economy, all the color economies that we can think of, right?
Okay.
And I think it's important that we recognize that those economies are also very important and integral to our society. As a avid arts enthusiast and somebody that was in dance class, piano class, debating, Cub Scouts, whatever you could think of, I probably did it. I noticed how important it is for us to not be so rigid with respect to academics, but also be able to branch out into whatever sphere or whatever activities there are to assist young people. Because at the end of the day, all of it helps us to become well-rounded.
Thank you for that response.
For that, you mentioned, so with your life, I know you grew up from small and different things, but you had this support when you was young coming up for the person you are today, or tell us more about that. Tell us.
Yes, so for me, I know I can speak, I know mommy and daddy watching. We grew up in a household where our parents believed in what I like to call the dog leash principle, right? In the sense that, if you walk in a dog on a leash, the dog is sort of free to roam. But the moment you see the dog going too far, what do? You pull back the leash, right? And so that's kind of how my parents operated. If we came home this week and we said, I feel like I want to play tennis, Then they're going to look for the racket, the tennis skirt, the shoes. And if next one I say, mommy, I think I like tennis no more, maybe I want to try dance class, ballet shoes, jazz shoes, and those having the support of parents that regardless of what it is, as long as they recognize that it contributed to us as persons, young persons as well growing up in St. Kitts and Nevis, they were willing to support it. And I remember when I came home and said that I wanted to enter my first pageant, I was at the age of, I think, 7 or 8. At that time, I was in the Anglican Cub Scouts group, and we were raising funds for Cub Scouts to go off to a camp overseas. It was the only way for us to fund the trip. They decided to have a pageant, and I was like, Mommy, I want going for this show. And they were just like, well, we need a chaperone. You could sing, we got talent. We're going to knock up a little dress, and they just did what needed to be done. And I guess, this is a good segue that parents today really have to also check themselves to be mindful of the fact that in today's world, there are so many unconventional careers today, right? That they have to be mindful that, if Johnny comes home to say, Mommy, I would like to be a streamer or a content creator, a vlogger, whatever it is, a marine biologist, an environmentalist. These are all careers that are now on the rise. And I'm not, as an attorney, I'm not saying it to marginalize the doctors, the lawyers, but we have to recognize that a lot of our career fields are growing, and parents have to open their minds as well to be supportive of whatever it is. Children come home and say, this is what I think I want to do when I grow up.
Yes, that is so true. The support is really needed from parents because, as we can see, the youth population today is so vibrant, so innovative that we really, really need the support.
We do.
And now that leads me to my other topic, which you underscored about parental support. What challenges have you faced when your aspirations differed from your family's or cultural expectations, if there were any difference?
Well, like you said, parents, when raising us, they tend to have an idea of what they would like us to do, right? And it's always a bit ticklish when you start to deviate from what they have their plan for us to be. I think, and like I said, speaking from my experience, that wasn't something I encountered, but I've had friends that have encountered it. I had a friend growing up who, from a very young age, always said that she wanted to be a baker because she really loved baking. And there were times when, family and friends did not see it as a career. And in today's world, we know that baking is definitely a career. Baking, catering, even tonight's event, we wouldn't have refreshments without our caterers, right? And so I think it comes down to communication and a certain level of trust. Obviously, that level of trust has to be established between parent and child over time. And I think that once parents see Johnny or Jane making the necessary steps to chase those dreams, it's just a matter of them, coming on board and being supportive in whatever way they can, even if they don't see it going the distance. Because in the event that it does, you don't want Johnny or Jane to remember that, mommy wasn't supporting me at the beginning, You don't ever want your child to feel that way, right? And so for me, like I said, it comes back to support in whatever way it can. Even if, you don't like football, but Johnny tell you he want to play football. You got to show up to matches. Stand up outside, let him kick the ball to you. Whatever it means to give Johnny that support to achieve what he wants to do.
Okay, so to that, in your life, there were any time in your life where you didn't have no support or persons didn't believe in you, as in like, oh, you're not gonna make it, you sure you want to do this, friends, family?
Yes, so typically the path that persons take to become an attorney, you would do what we call a bachelor's of laws, and then you would go off to law school, right? For me, initially when I started university, I was torn between law and social sciences. And so when I started school, I actually did a first degree in sociology and law. After completing that degree, I noticed that as much as I love the social sciences, law was where I saw myself helping most persons. And so it took a great level of speaking to my parents because it meant going to school for an additional 2 years. And on the surface, going to school for an additional 2 years is just going to school. But behind the scenes, it's 2 years of accommodation money, tuition money, grocery money, and all of these things. And so, yes, there were family members who asked, you sure this is what you want to do? This is another 2 years of expense. This is another two years of being out there on your own. Are you certain that this is what you want to do? And I think in those moments, you really have to know yourself as well as young persons chasing dreams, because there will be persons that come at you and question what you're doing and question whether or not this is the right thing to do and if this is the right path for you. But at the end of the day, you have to know yourself. And if it is what you want, you go after what you want, full throttle. And as you chase your dreams and persons see you chasing your dreams, eventually they will come on board. But you have to believe in yourself. And like I tell my friends all the time, you got to back yourself first. Right? You're doing anything, you got to back yourself first.
Like
you're
that.
going to
that.
run, you know that's the fastest person on the line. You can't go on the line and say, boy, Malik faster than me, You're going on the line, you're telling yourself, Malik might be faster than me yesterday, but today, Malik ain't beating me today, right? And
I love that.
once you back yourself, persons will come on board with whatever it is you intend to do. Persons will start following the dream and be with you.
I love that. Back yourself. That's the good thing.
And I do see the relatability because we're both currently CFBC students, right? But in the beginning, I was torn between either law or sociology because I do love the social sciences and I do love law. So in the end, I end up gravitating to sociology because that's where I found that I could help out more people. So that's the thing in common that I see.
And even though, looking back, even though I decided to go law, the way of law, I noticed that every day in private practice, the things that I learned in doing that sociology degree, the skills that I learned, I'm able to use them every day because you learn a lot of soft skills, how to deal with persons, how to be empathetic, to understand persons' situations, even if it's someone I'm not representing. It kind of teaches you to look at the whole picture, even though you may not be my client, to try to find the best solutions or resolve to ensure that the situation becomes one that is amicable for everybody. And so, looking back now, I get to tell all of those people that while I may not have chosen sociology and I chose to go to school for an additional 2 years, what I learned wasn't just left behind. It didn't just fall at the west side, It's things that I'm still able to use every day, and I think that the sociology degree supports a lot of what I do as an attorney in private practice.
Yes, this is important. We can really pull something from here, pull something from there. Yes, and while you have been giving us some anecdotes on your experiences, we want to hear a little more. So can you share a story where you successfully found a compromise between your desires and the cultural pressures?
Go again?
Can you share a story where you successfully found a compromise between your desires and cultural pressures?
Okay, so I'm actually the founder of a Christmas initiative called 869 Elves, right? And that project was started out of an experience I had with a little girl in a salon one Christmas. Her mom was doing her hair. She was obviously being a busybody in the salon, annoying the adults, getting the hairdo. And so in trying to keep her busy, I started asking, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite subject? It was around Christmas time, and I said, so you looking forward to Christmas? And she was like, no, Mommy done tell me that this Christmas a little tight, so me ain't gonna get a Christmas gift, right? And in that moment, I was just like, what? And it caused me to check some privilege, because automatically, you just associate Christmas having something to open. And so in that moment, I created the idea that, if this child is experiencing that, there probably are other children that are experiencing it. And so I created 869Ls for persons to sign up to anonymously donate gifts to persons that may be going through those things. I remember when I started, there were persons that were telling me, you're going to offend some parents doing that. Persons are going to feel like, oh, I can't buy my child a gift. Who this girl be? Come give my child a gift. She ain't know me. How she going to just up and buy a gift for my child and that kind of thing. And I remember even speaking with the Ministry of Education at the time when we wanted to start it, I had to explain and convince the Chief Education Officer that, it's an anonymous project. There won't be any photo taking. It's not a photo op. It's solely for us to spread some good cheer. And I said that to say, in those moments, trying to get the program off the ground, I realized how much persons we kind of had to tiptoe around because persons felt like, we don't like to speak about financial issues in the Caribbean. We shy away from it, and we don't like help as well. And so we have two things that are constantly working against us. Persons that are going through financial issues, but at the same time, they don't want to accept help because, pride, and that's just how we are. And so there were so many persons that say, you think this going to work? You sure people going to like it? Just getting a gift from somebody that they don't know? And I said, well, I back it myself, and we run it with the program. And in our first year, I started with just friends and family. We were able to do 26 children in our first year. In our second year, when I opened it up to the public, we did 155 children. Okay. This is going to be our third year. And right now, based on our numbers, we are about to do about 240 children. Right? And I said that to say, there may be youth out there that have ideas and are just a bit nervous or apprehensive about how do I get it off the ground. I always encourage persons, start with your friend group, start with family members, see how it works, ask people, get ideas, and also never be apprehensive to constructive criticism. It's the only way that you'll grow. And I think for me, growing up in dance class and piano class, all of these extracurricular activities taught me to be open to criticism because it's the only way you were going to play the piano piece better. It's the only way you were going to get in the front line of the dance when it's performance time. Like, you just had to be open to hearing what you were doing wrong. And I think, looking back now, hindsight is a hell of a thing, huh? Growing up, you don't like to hear that. But now I recognize how important it is for me to take criticism now. After every appearance or anything that's involved, I'm involved in, I listen to hear what people have to say, and I just take it and move on and run with it. Yeah.
Another round of applause for such a brilliant initiative. I can't even begin to imagine the amount of smiles you put on these children's faces.
Well, I hope so. That's the one thing I hope that, like on Christmas morning, if it's the one gift they have to open, that, is something that they're able to smile about. And I hope also that it takes away a little bit of guilt from some parents, that they don't feel like, bro, my child ain't had no gift to open this Christmas. I hope that it assists parents in taking away that guilt.
So with that same initiative, how do children apply?
So children don't apply. How it works, we open it up to the public. So we usually have a sign-up period where you sign up to say you wish to be part of what we call our ELF squad. Once we close sign-offs, we work with the Ministry of Education and the guidance counselors in each of the schools who select the necessary children, right? And so they may respond to say, Siobhan Phipps is a 6-year-old girl at Maricilia who loves arts and crafts. What we then do at 869Ls, we respond to our donors and we say, your match is a 6-year-old girl from Maricilia who likes arts and crafts. So the donors don't know who the child is. The only thing they know is the age, the school they go to, and what they are currently interested in. They purchase the gift, drop them to us. We take them to the ministry, and the children collect the gifts from the ministry.
Okay.
Yeah. So the entire process is anonymous, and the only persons that know the names of the children are obviously persons on our ELF team at what we call our headquarters. But even if I go to the supermarket tomorrow and I see Siobhan Phipps, like I would not know that Siobhan Phipps because it's just a name on a paper, right?
Okay.
And even when the children receive the gifts, it doesn't have on from Azara Laibud, for example. It says from 869 Elves. So they don't even know who's giving them the gift.
Okay. Nice initiative. Beautiful.
And the last question for this topic, what strategies or advice would you give to someone struggling to meet both their own goals and their own family's goals?
Like I said, for me, it's backing yourself. I feel like even if you have family members that don't believe in what you want to do, you have to back yourself and prove to them and kind of convince them as to why they need to support you. I feel like I said, once you back yourself fully, eyes on the target, nothing distracting you, eventually your families will come along and start to give that support to what you want to do. But again, it's about being open, right? And, having the necessary conversations, speaking with mommy and daddy and saying, Daddy, I know you want me to be a construction man, but I think I want to be a diver or I want to be a seamstress or whatever it is, and just showing mommy and daddy that that is what you want to do. Eventually, people will come along. But it is about believing in yourself, sticking to your dreams, chasing your goals, and going after what you want.
Especially when they don't believe in you first, and you actually have something going on, or you keep pushing through, and they see you going, and then after a while, they say, boy, man, are you getting all these things done, boy? No, I think he's gonna make it for real. Yeah, man.
That's how it goes.
For sure, back yourself.
Yes. So thank you to that message, and not only to the other youth, but also to us. Because we really have to learn to back ourselves.
For real. I believe in that. Back yourself first. Everybody else will come along. Trust me.
Exactly.
Let's stick with it.
And before we do continue the rest of this night, we'll take just a short break, and we'll be back.
Yes.
I'll be strong. Whatever my eyes can see, my heart can feel. That's why I believe in love. Going my eyes can see, sure as a deep blue sea. That's why I believe in love. Sing it. Bless me with an everlasting smile. Gotta give thanks to the way you touch my life with the strength of your love. When the right seems wrong and the wrong seems right, just be careful and be strong. Whatever my eyes can see, my heart can feel. That's why I believe in love. Though in my eyes can see, so as the deep blue sea. That's why I believe in love. This one's for the leaders who are fighting war all over the world. This one's for the leaders who are fighting war all over the world. Think about the youths who are dying now, crying now for love. Victims of the system go divide and rule, come to break us down and tear us apart. Why is the future for the human race? Why is the children going to take our place? Where is the love that we should all embrace? I do believe it's here for you and me. This much for the leaders who are fighting war all over
We are back again with Ambassador Phipps. Our last panel discussion will be about navigating academic pressure and burnout. This discussion will also be with Ambassador Phipps on managing academic stress, burnout, and finding balance, sharing tips for maintaining mental and physical health during school years. Your first question: what are some common signs of academic burnout, and how can we recognize them early?
Okay, so I'll tell you a story, right? I know this girl, and while she was growing up, going to primary school, high school, college, CFBC, she always did school and a lot of other extracurricular activities, right? She always had like all sorts of things going on. She always did well, good grades, the whole nine. When she went off to university, she was like, this is a bigger apple to bite. So she dropped all of her extracurricular activities and she was only focused on school. And in the first year, she did horribly. First semester, horrible. That girl was me, right?
Oh.
And immediately after my first semester, I realized that what I knew all my life was growing up, going to school, and being involved in a million other things. And I noticed immediately that after my first semester at university, the balance that I was so accustomed to was missing, and my grades showed that, right? And so I started signing up for everything. St. Kitts Navy Student Association, hall committee, events committee, Guild of Students, this, to get that balance back. And immediately, like, my grades picked back up. I was back on track. And, it's just about balance. So for me, I think some of the signs when we talk about academic burnout, we're looking at, students that just aren't interested in being in school or in the classroom. We have to ask ourselves why. Not being able to stay focused long in the classroom, things like that. And it's just, for me, I know it's just about being able to find that balance. As students and as young persons, believe it or not, we don't like to be not entertained for long. And even me, at 27 years old, sometimes I go to functions, and after 2 hours, I find myself tuning out if there's no little pick-me-up or anything like that. And it's just, we just have to be realistic and practical about it. Academic pressure is a thing. And if the pressure is already up here in the classroom, we have to find a way to get our students, to get their guards down and still be able to do things that contribute to them as persons in a fun way. Or we have to figure out, if the academic pressure is up here, how do we get our students to enjoy learning? How do we get the teaching material to be easily understood in fun ways that students leave the classroom having a good time?
And thank you. To add to that as well, and we also have to find out the problem, because some children might not come in school and the teacher might, but we also have to find out the problem, what's going on into the house. We all have to find out what exactly going on with them. I mean, some of us would blame the parents, but we also don't know what's going on with them at home.
That's true.
So we have to look into that. See, a second. How do you personally manage stress during busy or challenging school periods when you was in school?
Right. So it's easy to become overwhelmed, right? And you can't take your eyes off the goals. One of the things my dad told me when I was going off to university, he told me, Siobhan, yes, you're going there for a university degree, but don't lose out on the experience. Because he went to UWI as well, and so when I was going off to UWI, he kind of already had an idea of what I would expect going there. And he told me plain up, yes, you're going for school, but don't lose out on all of the other things that happen at school. And in telling me that, it's just like I started, and I'm probably going to sound like a stick record, because it's about finding the balance. When school starts to get hard, sometimes there's no issue in taking 2 hours away from the books, you know, getting your pressure back down, calming down, watching your show that you like. But balance also requires a lot of discipline. So you can't study for 3 hours. So you're going to take a 1 hour break and then you watch 10 hours of Grey's Anatomy, right? Because then you aren't sticking to what you say you want to do.
Exactly.
Talking from experience, right? Because now you don't watch 10 hours of Grey's Anatomy and the book's still there for you to read, right? Because they ain't going nowhere. So it's about balance and discipline. There's nothing wrong in being academically inclined, but also being socially well-rounded, right? And you just have to be disciplined with it. When school, and I like to say everything has a season, meaning exams have a season. Dance class has recital season. Piano class has recital season. And it's about prioritizing, right? So right now it might be exam season and you just have to zone in and that's your goal. Partying and going out with your friends and movies and so ain't going nowhere. And I know it sounds cliche, our parents used to tell us that, but it's the truth, right? Everything has a season, and eventually you're going to look back and you're going to say, I just went to university and I finished already, right? You're going to look back and say, boy, them was the hardest exams I ever do in my life. I remember, I was make this joke all the time, and I say, CXC in fifth form was the hardest exams I do in my life. And then I went CFBC, and I said, bro, these are the hardest exams I ever do in my life. And then I went UWI, I said, oh, geez, this is the hardest exam. Then I went law school, I said, no. Them CFBC exams wasn't even nowhere near to these, right? And it comes back to everything having its season. Right now, where you guys are, CFBC probably is the big daunting cherry in your life. And that's just the reality of it. You just have to do what you have to do, pick at the cherry, bite at the jerry, and then in 2 weeks, you're going to be drinking the cherry juice, moving on, and you're going to say, okay, I want to eat the apple over there. You got to start biting the apple, figure out you're going to eat the seeds or you ain't going to eat the seeds. Eventually, you're going to get apple juice on your shelf, you move on, you want watermelon. And it just goes on like that, right? Everything has its season. And it's just about figuring out how you navigate that season, step by step, take it day by day, and try not to look too far into the future. I think that's something that we do a lot as youth from a small country, because obviously we all have big dreams. We all want to conquer the world. And we try to figure out, boy, how am I going to do this from 68 square miles, St. Kitts, right? Try not to look too far into the future. Yes, you want to have long-term goals, but you're going to have those short-term goalposts that you want to hit and knock them off to get to that long-term goal. And you just stick at it, like I said, back yourself, knock on your dreams day by day, and you'll be fine. But everything has a season. You just have to take it season by season, and you'll be fine.
Very inspiring. I could sit here and listen to you all night. What role does time management play in preventing academic burnout?
Right, so see, I just spoke about discipline, right? It's about knowing what works for you. So I can call Azari name because Azari and I went to law school together. That's when I met Azari for the first time. And any academic journey is about knowing yourself and knowing what works for you. Some persons will be night owls. You're going to have friends that could stay up all night, hit the books, and be fine the next morning. Some of us are not like that. So that's where Azari and I, we used to laugh. And the other persons in our friend groups, we used to laugh about it because I was never the stay up all night person, right? I was the do 3 hours every 2 hours throughout the day. By 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, I down for the night, right? Azari and the others were the night owls. So I would wake up to messages from them when they know going through the material 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. By that time, I done out. But it doesn't mean that by Wednesday, Azari and I didn't complete the material. Material was completed, but we just did it different ways, right? And so it's about knowing what works for you and sticking to it. You're going to have friends that are going to say, no, girl, come out with us tonight. We could do the work tomorrow. If you know when you go out tonight with them, you ain't going to do the work tomorrow, don't go. You're going to go a party next week that you could go. Right? So it's about sticking to what works for you, managing your time well, and that comes back to knowing what works for you. Because unless you know yourself, you won't be able to manage your time, right? Knowing yourself will also tell you how much you can take on, whether or not you could sign up to be in this group or not, whether or not you can attend that panel discussion as a panelist tonight, and you got a million things home waiting for you to do, right? So it's about knowing yourself and knowing what you can take on. And once you know yourself, you stick to what you want to do, everything else will fall into place. And that's time management, balance, your discipline, and everything will flow from knowing yourself and just sticking to the plan that you have for yourself.
Interesting, right? Okay.
So you got to know yourself. See how easy it is, like if you go with friends, right? Everybody gone out. And somebody said they're ordering, let's say, chicken pasta. You know you ain't like chicken pasta. You ain't gonna order chicken pasta, right? You know you like hamburger and cheeseburger and fries. She could order chicken pasta. I want a good burger. You see how easy it is to like order off the menu or order clothes online. You know your friend like bell-bottom pants and you know you ain't like them. You ain't gonna order it because you know you ain't like them, right? You see how easy it is to do those things? It's the same thing that you have to do when it comes to academics. Just know what works for you, stick to it, and eventually all of us will get to the finish line. Because 3 plus 1 is 4, but 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 0 is 4. 10 take away 6 is 4, right? So.
We're all gonna make it. Thank you. I could sit here and listen to you all. Can you share a strategy or habit that has helped you maintain a healthy school-life balance?
For me, I believe in taking time away from school sometimes, right? So you just have to find time that you can carve out for you, whether it is watching a movie, going to the beach, going outside playing with your dog, watching TV, whatever it is. We have to encourage our youth to take that, to carve that time out. And I know it's something our parents don't like to hear because they want to know you support your exam next week, you're watching TV, you don't know this, or they hear you singing a song, first thing they say, you know all them lyrics. I hope you know your schoolwork, so, right? That's just how parents are because in their minds, they just want the best for you. Behind all of that, they just want the best for you and they just want you to do your best. And so equally, that bestows a level of obligation and responsibility on you to hit the books, but also take time for yourself, right? And just, like I said, whatever it is, if it's watching movies, watching series, going to the beach, whatever it is you like to do, scrolling on TikTok, scrolling on Facebook, watching YouTube vlogs, whatever it may be, it's no difficulty in taking that time. But you have to be disciplined. So like I said, you can do 2 hours of work and then watch 10 episodes of Grey's Anatomy, right? Because the work not going anywhere and you still have to get it done.
Okay. Your last question for this evening, unfortunately.
Make it hot. Make it hot. No pressure. Make it hot.
Make it hot.
So we could end on a good note.
No problem. How can schools and communities better support students facing academic pressures?
I'm a firm believer in tailoring the classroom to students, right? When I was growing up, we learned late in my brother's academic life that he was dyslexic. And it wasn't that, he wasn't able to learn. Persons just learn differently. Some persons learn by hearing people speak. Some persons learn by reading. Some persons learn visually. And so it's just about our teachers, our policymakers, parents as well, learning from early, different ways of delivering the same material so that no child in the classroom is left behind, right? I recognize when I went to university that there would be lectures Then they would have the worksheet that has on all of the work you need to do, and then they had tutorial sessions. That was, I think, the university's way of ensuring that everybody is covered. So if you were a verbal learner, the lecture was probably more helpful for you. Tutorials were for those persons that learn more interactively through conversations and answering the tutorial questions, having the discussions about, no, why that's not the answer, why this is the answer. And then the worksheet was for those who learn by reading, right? And so it's about us as a community, as parents, like I said, cousins, auntie Nisi helped me with this homework now, knowing how different persons learn and trying to incorporate those into our lesson plans to ensure that, no child is left behind. It's just about us trying to figure out how do we meet everybody's needs in this one classroom and seeing how we can make it work.
Thank you so much. Do you have anything to say to our upcoming generation? You can share.
On academics or generally?
Generally, yes.
Okay, so like I always say, back yourself, right? But don't be afraid to lose. I live by the motto, falling down doesn't make you a failure, staying down does. Because you will fall. So don't grow up thinking that the world is perfect, you're not gonna lose. But you have to look at those moments when you lose and ask yourself, why? And I think losing teaches you a lot as well. I don't like persons to look at me and say, I'm Chevy perfect boy, because it's not so. Like, I failed university courses, but it didn't stop me from being an attorney, right? You just have to do them again, ask yourself where you failed, hit the books again, and get it done. Because at the end of the day, I like to tell persons, don't change your goal. You just change how you get there, right? Path A may work for some persons, but path A may just not be for you. You just may have to jump through a couple more hoops, take a different path. So just back yourself. Don't be afraid to lose. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And always be open to criticism. Constructive criticism, not people who just gonna abuse you for abusing your sake. Right? Constructive criticism, people that actually invested in you and want to see you do good. But just be open to it, listen to it, and learn from it. Don't be apprehensive about it, because somebody always has something to say, whether it's the farmer, the lawyer, everybody has an opinion, and you never know who you can learn from, right? So just back yourself and be open.
Well.
Don't kill me.
We just want to say thank you so
welcome.
much.
I like these kind of things.
Accepting our invitation to be a guest speaker, Ambassador Phipps. And I sure that the Minister, Honorable Iseline Phillip, she's lost of words over there. can't imagine. And for sure, back yourself would definitely stay with me. And also, falling down doesn't make you a failure. Staying down does. And that will definitely stay with me going forward. However, I will turn it over to Machaelia Tucker to close us off and say the closing remarks.
Yes, so it's my utmost privilege to now give the closing remarks from such an insightful night. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, as we draw this inspiring event to a close, it is only fitting to extend heartfelt thanks to everyone who contributed to its success. First, to our distinguished guest speakers, Mr. Manny Lewis and Ambassador Siobhan Phipps. Your insightful perspectives and thought-provoking messages have undoubtedly left an indelible mark on all of us. Your words have sparked conversations that will continue to resonate long after this gathering. To our dedicated participants, your enthusiasm and active engagement were truly the heartbeat of this event. Your willingness to share your ideas and experiences made this platform vibrant and meaningful. Also, to Honorable Iseline Phillip, thank you for your invaluable support and your discussion and interview as well. Your commitment to empowering youth and fostering their growth has been instrumental in making this event possible. Finally, to our attendees, whether in person or online, your presence and attentiveness affirm this importance of creating spaces like Youth Unplugged, spaces where we can listen, learn, and lead together. As we close, let us carry forward these insights gained and connections made here today. The energy and potential of youth are boundless, and each of us has a role in shaping a brighter future. Let's continue to unplug from distractions that limit us and plug into purpose, innovation, and action. Thank you, and do have a wonderful evening.
Ooh, thank you.